Welcome to our next geography lesson. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about mountains, maps, the Himalayas, the Andes, and mountains and tourism. Alright, I want you to bring your pen, grab your pen and your notebook, and take notes of the following information. Okay, so topographic maps. We have two types of maps. One of them is topographic, the next one is relief maps. Okay, so topographic maps show the natural features of the land, such as hills, mountains, lakes, and rivers. Okay, as well as things made by people, such as roads and towns. So when you look at the topographic map, you can see the difference between a relief and a topographic map. That the topographic map, everything is shown, as you can see in this little map of UK. All right, so we have the Northern Sea, we have the Atlantic, and there is the English Channel. And this is France. So everything you see, even the roads, are shown, right? So this is one of the topics, or this is one of the definitions that you need to have it as in the flashcards. So I need you to make a note out of it and save it for later. Okay. So a relief map. A relief map only shows how high the different parts of a region, a country, or a continent are. Mind you, you can actually define these two definitions in the way you like it, but it must say that it needs to, the relief map shows how high different parts of a region or country is, or country are, right? So you can see in the map, we have basically a land that's colored in dark green, light green here, okay, and then yellow, right, and then what seems to be like orange, but it's reddish parts, and the very, red peaks, okay. So you see nothing, like I can't tell if these are roads or or they're lines. I can see the rivers, right, which is a natural feature. I can see some lakes and I can see the ocean, but I cannot see which city is here or what kind of town is here, or like what is there a dam here? I don't know. Okay, so the color of the map goes as such. So if it's very low, okay, we know that from the previous lesson, we know that a mountain is basically a highland that's more than 300 meters. Okay, so a relief map really colors even the bottom of the mountain. Okay, so if it's dark green, then it's 100 to 200 meters. Okay, so lighter green means this part of the land is higher. For example, if you look at this part of the land, it's dark green in here, but then this other part up in there is light green. So you immediately know that this part is very low, this one is higher. Okay, so if it's 300 to 400 meters, it's colored yellow. Okay, as you can see in the map, most of the land is between 300 and 400 altitude. Okay, and if it's over 400 meters, we color it as red. All right, so one thing to mention, right, and this, we mentioned this in class, if you look at the globe, you see a very round, line, sort of like a circle, in the center of the globe. We call this the equator. All right, and near the equator, we find the sea level, and the level of the sea. We count that as level 0. So if I say it's basically 100 meters above the sea level, meaning the lowest level of the sea we have on Earth. We measured it. We measured the height of the thingy, or the height of the mountain, according to that level of the sea. So the bottom one, the one that we always use, okay? But if it didn't say, such as here, right, it's 100 and 200 meters, it means that it's not measured according to the sea level, okay? It's a very useful information to know that. All right, contour lines. Contour lines basically are there to tell us if basically a part of the land is in the same height, right? So we show heights on maps using contour lines, okay? One contour line joining in an area shows the places that are at the same level, at the same height above the sea level. So now here it says sea level, so we actually counted it from the the level 0. So which is the sea level, okay? The reason why this is important, okay? So if you go back to the relief map, you see that, okay, I know this land is yellow, okay? But I don't know because the range is so general, like it's 300 to 400. That's 100 meters in between, right? So if you look at the yellow part, you know that this is between these two, 300 to 400. We don't actually know if this part of the land is the same height as this one. That's why we created contour lines, so it's more detailed, so we know which part of the land is actually the same height, right? So the reason why the lines are joined together, they're crowded here, is because this part of the land actually rises up. Okay, so it rises up, so when you see it from the top, the lines seems like they have less space between them. If you feel like they're crumbled up, but they're really not, right? You just see it like that because you're at the top view. You're looking at it from the top. Okay, so this is contour lines. Okay, so obviously if you look at this lake, you see that the whole lake is in the same height. Okay, if we would measure the height of you, for example, in here, and then you measure the height of someone in here, you obviously count the lines in between you two, right? So it's just something to know. Okay, now famous mountains. Okay, so the most famous mountains that we had at previous class, they are very well known: Mount Fuji, Andes, the Himalayas, and a few more, right? Like Mount Kilimanjaro, right? So these two are the most important ones for us in grade 6. We're going to learn about them, okay? So the first thing is a general overview. You need to know that Himalayas is in Asia, okay? The Andes is in South America. All right. So the first mountain that we're going to be talking about is the Himalayas, okay? So the Himalayas basically is the red part of the in the map, okay? So it stretches out. It's actually a mountain range, right? So it's a series of mountains. They connect, and they happen to have the world's tallest peak, which is the Everest, Mount Everest, right? Okay, so it stretches out from northeast, from Pakistan, okay, all the way to Nepal and China. It goes through Bhutan, okay, and it ends up here somewhere in China and Bhutan, okay. So the reason why this is a very famous range is because it connects, obviously it connects like 1, 2, 3, 4 countries. So you can jump on the Himalayas, and the borders of these countries are on the Himalayas, right? Imagine if, like in history, how important this border was, right? The people living here were actually protected by all this mountain. The people living here were also protected by this range of mountains. No one from China could actually go and invade these people in India, right? So besides that, okay, and this map doesn't show because this is not a relief map, but if you see it in Google Maps on, precisely, if you look at the satellite image, you see a plateau. Now, plateau is just a high ground, landform. So it's like a flat area here, and then it, the mountains start, and then this land over here is actually higher than the land in India. So that's how the geology of the place is, right? So the name of the mountain, the name of the countries that the Himalayas mountains stretch out from are very important. You need to remember at least four. Okay, India, Pakistan, China, and Afghanistan, and Bhutan, Nepal. These are very easy names to